Are you thinking about moving to Iowa Colony in Sierra Vista? In this video, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, the ugly, everything you need to know about living out here in Iowa Colony. Stay tuned. See you on the other side. Hi, my name is Aaron Lathan, and every week I'm helping buyers relocate to and throughout the greater city of Houston. So if you need to know anything about where to eat, sleep, live, play, hit me up morning, noon, or night. I'm your guy. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm doing these kind of videos every week, giving the good, the bad, the ugly, everything you basically need to know about where you're trying to live. And I work throughout the city of Houston and all the surrounding suburbs. So if there's anything I can help you with, all the links to my social media, my number, email, all that stuff's gonna be in the description box below or somewhere on this screen. Hit me up morning, noon, and night. I would love to help you out. So I'm actually in Iowa Colony right now. It's that weird spot where Iowa Colony, Sharon, all those places kind of south of the city of Houston kind of merge together and become this thing. Not too far from Del Bello Lakes, another subdivision that I did recently on my channel, not too far from Pearland, which is one of the more well-known subdivisions south of the city of Houston. And I'm out here in Iowa Colony, Sharon area, and I'm actually waiting on my client to get here. We're about to do a final walkthrough of her home. She got a gorgeous home with Kalina Homes, is one of the nice builders out here in the area. Unfortunately, their model home is kind of shut down right now, so I can't go in and do a tour of that, but maybe my client will allow me to show her house. I'll ask her if she gets here before I'm finished with this video. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to go over the pros and the cons of living out here. And this is coming from the perspective of someone that wasn't born in Texas. And then secondly, this is going to come from the perspective of someone that loves to be in the actual city. So there's no place is perfect. I actually bought a home with my wife in the Independence Heights area, which is just north of the Loop. And there's some positives and some negatives that come with living out there. But in today's video, we're going to talk about the positives and negatives of living in Iowa Colony. So the first thing on my list, and I like to actually always kind of start with the cons. No, sorry about that, I have to check out my notes. I always kind of like to start with the cons just to kind of get all that stuff out of the way, and then we can actually get to the fun stuff, which is why you actually want to buy there, right? So the first thing that is a deal breaker for any of these suburbs out south of the city of Houston, or not in the city of Houston in general, either in this is northwest, east, or south, nothing is different. Traffic is awful. If you have a lifestyle that is going to lead you outside of the city of Houston on a pretty consistent basis, living in the suburbs is going to always kind of be a challenge to you, because there's just so much going on as far as new construction, as far as building, as far as road construction, just the amount of people here. Traffic is going to be one of the worst things for you if you don't live in the city of Houston and you work there, right? So it's a sacrifice to get all the way out here. And for me, there was no traffic, there were no wrecks. I came here, I left way early just so I could get here and kind of have enough time to look at the neighborhood and see how they've progressed since I've last been here. And there's been a lot of changes. But as I got on the road, you know, I put it in my GPS and I was expecting, you know, 40-45 minutes, and I just forgot how far away this place actually was. And it took 55 minutes to get here, no traffic, from where I am, which is just above the 610 loop, right? So I live just north of the Heights, just so you can get a little reference. And it took me all of 55 minutes to get here. And to me, that's crazy. Like that's not conducive to the lifestyle that I currently live as a real estate agent. I would basically have to focus on only being down here, or get used to driving potentially hour or 2 hours for people that want to be a little bit more north of me. Like if they want to be in Spring or the Woodlands, that would just be almost like a 2-hour commute. And so that's one of the biggest things that you're going to have to think about with any of these suburbs as you kind of move further and further out. The next thing is the tax rate out here, not uncommon for new construction as you go deeper and deeper and further away as you get kind of into the suburbs, right? So as you get to the Pearlands, the Manvilles, the Rasharons, the Iowa colonies, all these places, as soon as you get to new construction, that I'm gonna turn the car on for a little bit, got a little hot. As soon as you get to new construction, expect that tax rate is going to be over 3%. And right now out here, this is at 3.57, 3.6, somewhere in that zone, which is really high. So to put that in perspective, if you get a $300,000 house, which, you know, let's say the starting point around here is like 280 to 300, but for me, let's just do easy math for me. $300,000 house, your tax rate is 3.5%.'re going to be paying over $10,000 a year just in taxes alone, right? So that in itself is a payment that not many people are expecting when it comes to buying a home to be that high. And if you're not in an established area that already has like a set tax rate, all of these new communities, especially with the amenities and things that they're throwing in and the schools that they're tying you to, which is all positive, you're gonna pay a premium for living out here, right? So that's con number 2. Third thing, and it's, you know, it's kind of a given, but you're in the burbs, right? So like kind of like I said, my life is one where I can go, you know, pick up stuff from my favorite eateries, you know, my favorite little bistros, are go and get our little Starbucks right up the street from us, go and get our groceries right up the street from us. It's go and do things at the bayou in the downtown kind of area in the city. And that's my lifestyle. That's my wife's lifestyle. That's our current family lifestyle. And to be way out here and still do the things that we currently love to do, it would be difficult for us, right? That would be a very big stretch because we're just very, very, very far away. I think as I was starting the trip, it said like 40 miles away from where we currently live. Now I know we're a little bit above the loop, so that's a little bit, you know, take that with a grain of salt. But once you get south of 610, it's still probably a good 20 to 25 miles before you actually get out to this community. And that's something that you just have to think of when you're considering any of these suburb locations. You do have, now there's a positive to that, you know, there's the peace and quiet that you'll get out here that I'll never get. I'll never get that comfort. I'll never have that security of just feeling like super safe. I'll never have those things when it comes to being in the city. But what I lose in that comfort and feeling of security, I have in location, in my opinion, right? There's just so many things. There's so many, just like I said, like little ice cream shops and tea houses and little places that you can go and get little slushies and little places you can go and shopping that are just so close to us that I would miss it if my wife and I decide to ever like really move far away from the city. So that's something that you definitely have to think about as you are making a decision to kind of be this far out. You are definitely in the suburbs. There's no hiding that. You are not in the city anymore, right? The next point is, in this location and many of those in the 288 corridor, so like the Pearlands, drawing a blank, the Rasharons, the Iowa colonies, like here, the Manvilles, all those places that are kind of like contingent upon using Interstate 288, that means you're at the mercy of whatever happens with 288, right? And one of the biggest things that comes up more times than not in the city with all the rain and things that we get is 288 tends to flood. So as you're out here, you know, there are some ways to get around. If you're familiar with the place, there's some ways to get in and around these areas. But if, you know, you're just not used to having an interstate be at the mercy of weather so much, this is going to be one that's going to be tough for you, because like on a heavy rain, not even like a torrential downpour, on a heavy rain, there are spots of 288 that could be a little bit dodgy or could cause you to be able to not really get north of where you are. So definitely something to think about as you move out south out here. And the last kind of con, and this is a new con, because when I first had my client come out here, these were some of the most affordable kind of luxury houses that I would say were in this area. There are a couple communities that are just north or just south that are way more expensive and started out way more expensive, and now it's the price point, right? A lot of these houses out here are kind of starting in that $280 to $290 kind of range, and getting all the way up until like the $500,000 range for $400,000 to $500,000 range for some of these houses. And they're beautiful houses. They are gorgeous. You're gonna have some great amenities out here for sure, but that's a tough price point just for where you are in the infrastructure that is currently already in place, considering that you're still going to be banking on a Pearland or a Manville or these places, Alvin, that are around you, but not quite in Iowa Colony, right? There's an infrastructure that is on its way here, but it's not quite here yet. So you're really at the mercy of the surrounding suburbs and places around you. And it's tough to have to spend that kind of money and still need other places. Now, like I said, the infrastructure is coming, but it's just not quite there all the way yet. And so it's just something that you have to deal with. And the price point out here is creeping up into that starting at $300,000, right? And that wasn't the case just 6 months ago. I had a client that got out here in the 200, and it's actually the house that I'm going to do the final walk for today. 2,000 square foot house for like $235, and right now that would definitely go for over $300,000 right now. So that's definitely something that has been a new con for the area, but there are still a ton of options. So enough of all the doom and gloom. Let's get into some of the positives, and I'm actually going to get out of the car and enjoy some of this beautiful sunlight for a little second right now. And hopefully these guys don't make too much noise with the brick around me. But so some of the pros, there are tons and tons and tons of options out here. As of today, I think there's like 10 or 11 different developers and builders out here. You have everyone from KB Homes to Ashton Woods to Anglia to Devon Street Homes, who I've worked with a couple times. Anglia, you have a bunch of people out here. So, you know, basically each builder is going to have their 5 to 10 plans that they have. So you do the math on that. You got what, 70 to 100 plus different plans to fit almost any budget or fit almost any need as far as layout, size, luxury that you would want to have out here. And with that, you know, the more options the better, you know, for my clients, and that's always been the case. So even though I have some builders that I think are more luxurious, at the end of the day, if affordability is your thing, there's another buyer or there's another builder that'll be here to hit the mark of affordability, right? So tons of options. That's probably the biggest key out here, is that almost no matter what your budget is going to be, there's going to be somebody out here that can meet it. Now you got to be, you know, around the threes now. You're not in the low twos anymore and still getting something super great out here. But if you have a decent budget, you can come out here and find someone that'll basically get you where you need to get. This is a pretty large community, so kind of piggybacking off of that last point is you'll have a lot of space to actually build, right? So you'll still have opportunities where you can build. I know a lot of communities right now aren't even letting you do ground up. They're doing what's called like quick inventory, or they're doing homes that have already started. And so that kind of gives you, or you lose out on that ability to customize it and kind of make it your own. And this location isn't doing that. The third thing, and probably the greatest thing in my opinion, are the amenities. There's tons of lakes over here. You're going to have one of those crystal blue lagoons. So if you're familiar with Balmoral up in Humble, or if you're familiar with Lago Mar down in Texas City, where they have that crystal blue water with the white sand beaches, you're going to have one of those out here as well. So it's definitely going to be one of those things and one of those features that most suburbs can't say that they have, and that'll definitely have value when it comes time to resell. And for the right now, you'll always have something to enjoy. It's going to be basically your vacation home in your home. You don't even have to travel. You don't have to go to Florida. You don't have to go anywhere like that, because all of that stuff is going to be here. And it's actually going to be back there. I don't know if you can see it. So right there behind me is going to be kind of where it's located. So not that far from all of the model home park, but you're definitely going to have some great amenities over here. The next thing is you're tied to a pretty solid school system. So Alvin ISD is one of those things that, as a person that lives in the city, I have to worry about schools, right? I'm in the Independence Heights area, and I love it over there, but we got lucky when we got the school that we got. Not everybody can say that, right? So it's definitely one of those things that you're going to want to have to think about if, you know, schools in the future are for resale value. You know, people that are going to buy your house after you, even if kids aren't in the cards for you, they're going to want to be tied to a good school system, and Alvin ISD definitely does that. Most of the locations out here are Alvin ISD. Once you get to that Isle Colony, Manville kind of zone, and certain parts of Pearland as well go into Alvin ISD, and this is definitely a great school system to be in. And the last and final point is I like this location if your lifestyle is south of the city of Houston. So I have a couple of friends and some family members that live out here in the southern part, in the Pearland kind of area specifically. And from here to them, it's like 10 minutes. It's like the perfect commute if you have family, friends, relatives, and the things that you like to do. If you're a doctor or you're a dentist, or shopping or groceries or anything, the things that you like to do are out in this side of town, then this is a great location, and definitely at a great price point compared to some of the other communities that are just north or just south of here. Like I said, Del Bello, which is one of my favorite ones in Manville, just north of here off of 288, starts about $100,000 more expensive than here, right? And they won't have the crystal blue lagoon. They won't have some of the amenities that you would have out here. So it's definitely a good location if your lifestyle is going to lead you to be more south. So that's the video for the day. Some of the pros and cons of living in Sierra Vista and Iowa Colony. I think it's a great buy. I think it's great value if your lifestyle is leading you to be more south of the city of Houston. But if you have to be in that city more times than not, then this may not be the location for you. Hour drive for me kills it. But what does it do for you? Shoot me a like, hit me with a comment, let me know down in the comment section how I did. Do you agree or disagree? Do you think that Sierra Vista and the Iowa Colony area is a good spot for you? I look forward to hearing from you. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I'm doing these kind of videos every week. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you have a great day.